Hi everyone, how are y'all doing? It's Sharon here with Creating with Sharon. Thanks for joining me tonight. Hope you're all are well. We still have to wear our duck feet because we're still getting quite a bit of rain here in Winnipeg. Just gonna see. So thanks for joining me tonight. I'm going to show you a couple cards, 3 cards to be exact, that I made using the Wild and Sweet stamp set. Super cute. So I'm just going to just flip you around so we can get started. Okay, maybe I won't be able to flip you around. Oh, yes, I will. There we go. There we are. So there we have it. Oops, can we see? There we go. Okay, perfect. Yay me. Okay, so tonight I'm going to be using this Wild and Sweet bundle or stamp set, and I'm going to be doing all 3 cards. I'm going to show you how I did them using my blends and my my watercolor pencils, and on my Stamparatus, of course, too. So I'd like to know why this is not sharing, or it hasn't popped up. Oh, there we go. Maybe. Oh. Just, there we are. Okay, so we're good. Okay, so here's the cards I'm going to be making for you tonight. So there's the one with the panda bear, and the super cute koala bear, and the ever so cute, I think they're so cute, but people think they're a pest, as the raccoon. So we'll get started with this one right here, and we'll go from there. Just can't see any of the comments, so totally weird here. Darn Facebook, eh? They mess you up. Oh, can't see it. So if you have any comments, I won't be able to see it. So I apologize for that. So we'll get started. So this one's going to be the first one. So I'm going to bring in my Stamparatus for this one, and I'm going to stamp this cute little panda using my Stamparatus. And the reason why I'm going to be using my Stamparatus is because, there we go, is because I can re-ink it if I mess up my first stamped image. Okay, of course I didn't bring in a piece of cardstock for that. Okay, so let's just get her all stamped up, and so I'm just going to just line it up, use my magnet to keep my paper in place, and I'm going to bring in my Memento ink, and I'm going to stamp up my panda bear with my Memento ink. And just, now the reason why I'm doing my Stamparatus is if I don't ink my stamp up well enough the first time, I get a second try. So you get it like that, right? And then I have a tool that I had picked up. This is a cookie cutter that I picked up, I think at Winners, like for $1 or whatever. And all I did was take the stamp off, the rubber part off, and just add one of the felts that you would put on the bottom of your furniture. So just going around just like that. And to me, it's not dark enough, so I'm going to ink it up again. So when you are inking up your Stamparatus, your stamp, I always put something underneath, whether it be a stamp set or another ink pad. You don't want to have it so it's down like this. You do that, there's a good chance that you could break the bridges on the Stamparatus. And I don't think you can buy individual, yes, I'm sure you can buy individual plates, but why would you want to if you didn't have to, right? Okay, just ink that up again, and I'm going to bring it over. And let's do this again. And I just do it in a circular motion all over the stamp set, just to make sure that I've got all my ink down. Now that's pretty dark. I'm going to do one more time, just to get even more depth. So when I first saw the stamp set, I wasn't too sure, but then I love pandas, so I thought, what the heck, I get it. And then koalas are pretty cute, as are the raccoons. I know when we lived in Borden, the raccoons were really bad because they were always in our trash. The trash everywhere. So we had to make sure that our bins were all tightly perfect. So that's the color I wanted. I want nice and dark and crisp, just like that. Okay, so I'm just gonna move this out of the way, because what I did is I did color it earlier on, and I did cut it out using my layering circles. So now what I'm going to do is now I'm going to color the panda and the tree. Well, I'm not really going to color the panda because he's already black and white, but I just might enhance some of the it looks pretty good to me right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to color the tree, and how I'm going to do that is I'm going to use my light and dark crumb cake, and I'm going to bring in my light old olives to do the branches. So we'll do the branches first. I'm going to use my fine tip end and just color that in just like that. He's so cute. Oh my Lord, he's just so cute. So we had a scare today. It was just we were on our way to the vet to pick up Jimmy his special cat food, because he's a special cat, and we have that ring and it's linked up to my phone. So we're driving to the vet and the thing goes off, so I thought, oh, I'll check it. Maybe it's just because it was around lunchtime, and it's usually the postman that comes by, or the postwoman, sorry. And there was somebody, you could see somebody standing in the shadows of the house. And I said to Rick, I says, oh my God, looks like somebody is seeing for a home and testing the ringer. So I watched for a bit, and then all of a sudden he leaves the deck, the front door, and he heads to the back, towards the back, right? And I said to Rick, shit, we better go home. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to say that. I says, we best go home and see what's going on, because he just went into our backyard. Well, long story short, when we got home, it was the sprinkler guy just testing our sprinklers, but totally freaked us out. Wasn't expecting that. Okay, so what I've done is I've taken my dark blends, and as you can see, I just went around the outside edges of the tree, and I'm going to do around here where the darker part is, because I want it a darker. And then we're just going to give it a couple seconds, and we're going to let it dry, because when you let it dry, it gives you the mobility to actually move the ink, the alcohol ink, on the paper. So just get that right in there. And we'll just give it a couple seconds to dry. I'll just maybe blow on it to help it along. And now I'm going to take my light crumb cake, and I'm going in a circular motion. Going to go over the edge to blend it all in, just like that. And then down, just going to color this all in. I like to go circular motion. And you don't be really fussy, because if you look on this one here, I have some light spots and some dark spots, and I want the same effect on this guy here. Circular motions all around the edges, and then wider circles when they get to the center. I must say, coloring is one of my favorite things to do. I find it very relaxing. Until I can't get up to work, then I get frustrated and I just put it down and just walk away. And take all that. So it's hard to believe it's May long weekend next weekend, and oh my Lord, holy smokes, where did the time go? Now what I'm going to do is the knot, I'm just going to go around the outlet, make it a little bit darker, and then I'll just bring in my lighter one and just blend it. Pull it out just a little bit. Okay, so quick and easy. Panda's already done. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my dark pool party, yeah. And see where I did the edges of this card here? I'm just going to outline the darker part, and then I'll color the lighter in with the lighter. And I'm just to give it a little bit of depth, and just lightly around the panda. Just like that. And then down around his paw here. And I'll just color that in right there. Now I'm going to let it dry for a bit. And then I'm going to bring in my light one. And I'm going to blend this in same way. I'm just going to go in a circular motion and color in all the white with the pool party, the light pool party. Circular motion all the way around. And try not to leave any white, because it really shows up, the white really shows up next to the blue. And then we'll just get into these guys here. And I really like the Stampin' UP blends because they come in two colors that match. So we have the light and we have the dark. So you can do your shading. And circular motion all the way around. So Diane and I are getting pretty excited with our crop coming up on the 4th of June. And I just hope it's not one of the nicest days of the year. That's all I'm hoping. Oh my gosh, I just hate to be locked up in a... It would be fun. It would be fun to be with other crafters. Looking forward to it. Okay, so there he is all done. So now I'm going to adhere him on to a piece of, this is crumb cake that I cut out. And so out of the layering dies, this die set right here, I use the two largest ones to cut these guys out. So this is the largest scalloped one, and then the largest for the, with the panda on that one. And now what I'm going to do, I did glue it straight on because I am going to dimension, when I dimension the panda bear onto the card base, that will be dimensioned. And if you go any more than 2 dimensions, you pay extra postage, and we don't want that, do we? And then slide that on. So we're just going to let him dry for a bit, and then we'll just move on to... Now we're going to the first layer. So if you notice this, it looks like it's colored in the background. All I did was that it's just embossing folder. So I took the 3D Fern 3D embossing folder, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to ink up this side of the folder using my crumb cake ink. And just tap it all over. Just to remind you too, when you're finished doing it, just make sure that you wash it off, because you don't want to go ahead and do something else and all of a sudden there's the leftover ink from the project you had before. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. Let's put this to the side and that piece there. I always do this the wrong way, so the handle's on the inside. Okay, so now I'm going to just take my piece of white cardstock, put it on, and then flip this piece down. And now we're going to run it through the cut and emboss machine. And just run it through just like that. I'm going to run it both ways, there and back. And then we'll just move him out of the way and we'll see what we got here. So there we have it. Isn't that gorgeous? Oh, I had it up too high. Oh, that's okay. I'll just trim it off. That's what I'll do. Just trim it off. So there we have that. That is so pretty. Now it's a little bit darker. Obviously, I probably put a lot more ink on it this time than I did the previous time, obviously, right? Okay, so I'm just going to get my cut and oops, sorry. I'm going to get my little trimmer here, and I'm going to just trim off just a wee bit. And just about 1/4 of an inch all the way around just to keep it even. Okay, so now let's bring in my card base, which is crumb cake, which is 5.5 by 8.5, and then I'm going to fold it, and then I'm going to burnish it at 4 1/4. And now I'm going to just bring in a piece of Pool Party, which is a 5 1/4 by 4, and that's going to sit perfectly right onto there. And just slide that right on. And the reason why I slide it on is so the glue that's on the back actually distributes throughout the back of the card. I'm just going to just throwing things around now. And I'm just going to just adhere that on. Now I'm going to do the same thing with my fern piece. And I'm hoping it's all dry. I'm sure it is. And I'm going to slide this piece on, center it, just like that. Then we're going to bring in the cute panda. I'm going to dimension him onto the card base. So I'm just going to grab some dimensionals. I've got some big ones here. I'm just going to add a few onto the back side. That, and then we'll adhere him into the center. And then my sentiment is on a piece of, I think it's 1.5, this is 1.5 or 1/2 inch by 2 inches. And I'm going to use the Happy Birthday from the Party Puffins because it's so cute. Happy birthday. Just mount that onto a block. And then bring in my Pool Party ink. And I'll stamp Happy Birthday on this one. And then this will be adhered with a dimension on the back side because I am going to place it on to this piece right here. So because this piece is layered, you want to make sure that you have a dimensional on the back side so it stays nice and flat. And then I'm just going to just add a dab of glue, multi-purpose glue, onto the other side, flip it over, and then adhere it on to the card just like that. So, card number 1 done. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the second card, which is this one right here. Now, the one that I'm doing tonight is just a tad different than what this one is. What I'm doing with that one is, when I cut out my pieces, I cut them out with using the deckled rectangle dies. Now these are really cool. These are they come in. There's 8 in here, and they're just like I want to say rugged around the edges, which gives it a really softer look than the straight on like this. So here's the one piece, and this is from the He's the Man Designer Series paper collection. So it's this one right here. I know that's really pretty, but of course I'm not going to use that one. I'm going to use this side right here, and I'm going to adhere it onto my card base, which is Cajun Craze, and it's 5.5 by 8.5, folded and burnished at 4 1/4. Okay, so this one's going to be glued. This is going to be glued onto here, so I'm not going to do anything with that quite yet. Just move that out of the way. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my cute little koala bear. And I'm going to use my stamp apparatus, so I'm just going to get that set up. And I'm going to put my piece of cardstock down. So I'm going to use my guidelines here to do that because it is a pre-cut piece. And I'm just going to adhere that right there. And then grab my second one, which is broken. I only have half or a quarter, 3/4 of one. And I'm going to put this one down at that end right there. Bring in my koala stamp, and I'm going to place it right into the center like that. Might have to move that up a bit, yeah. So he's all square, and then I'm going to bring this over, push it down, and then it's adhered on to the stamp apparatus. Now I'm going to grab an ink pad, and I'm going to ink him up. I'm going to do him in black also. And then just stamp him. Oops, get out of the way. And bring in my tool. And we'll ink him up again. Perfect. Now he's all done. So now let's just take him off. Put him to the side. So now what I'm going to do, if you notice on the trees here, it's like a reddish brown. Well, that is from the skin tone blends that we have out right now. And it's the SU 600. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to, with my fine tip, I'm going to go around the edges and make it really dark. Around his little toes. Because it's shadows, right? So you want to shadow that in, and then move the back here. And then on this side also. Now I'm going to just flip this around and do the wider end, and then go back over top what I just colored and blend it in. You do it, I guess, any shade you'd like. Like I'm not a professional at all at this. I just do what I think is right. And then this seems like the finer end is a little bit lighter, so just shade it in just like that. We'll do the same thing on this side and the top. And then down by his butt. And there we go. So the tree's all colored. So that I was using the Skin Tones SU 600. So I'm done with that one. So now what I'm going to do is bring in my old olive again, and then I'm going to color up the tree, the leaves, which I think are eucalyptus, because don't call us love eucalyptus. I also heard that they smell like eucalyptus too, because they eat so much of it. I think that's the only thing they eat, if I'm not correct. And then we'll just finish these down here. Okay, so that's that part done. So now what we're going to do, now we're going to color the koala bear. So I'm going to use my light crumb cake, and I'm just going to color him in. Now there's no really shading that's required because there is the black that's already there. So I'm just going to go around so the lighter will show up as the brown. Like I said, I'm not an expert by any means. Just going to go around his face, but I'm just going to leave the spectacles and his eyes, and then just finish coloring up his little body. I remember my grandparents went to Australia. Oh my gosh, that was many, many years ago. They brought my sister and I back a cute little koala bear each. It was so cute. Okay, so now that we've done that, so now we're going to do the same thing as what we did on the panda bear. We're going to bring in our light pool party, and we're just going to just go around the edges just to highlight it. Oops, sort of in the way there. So what I did with the top part, I just went zigzag, and then I'm going to do the same thing all the way around the branches. I'm not making it like a straight line, I guess. I'm just sort of making it like rough around the edges. And then we'll come up. And then just do this right here. Okay, now I'm just going to flip it around, and I'm going to use the wider of the brushes, and then just finish coloring it in and blending the two together. This is a lighter, isn't it? Oh, this is the dark. Oh, darn. Oh, well. Nobody's going to know. Okay, and just bag that out around there. Just do a little wisp around the bottom, and then bring it up the sides. And this sort of just looks like it's white. There we go. And take it up to the top and do the same thing at the top. And fan it out there. There we go. Okay, so now what he's going to get done is he's going to be placed on to the designer series paper. I'm going to put him right into the center, and I'm going to glue him straight down using my liquid glue. Just place him right into the center, just like that. And then we're going to take him and we're going to adhere him on to the card base, and I am going to use dimensionals for that one. Then we'll get the sentiment, and we're going to also dimension that on there too. But obviously I did not make the sentiment. It comes with the He's the Man stamp, our designer series paper. So you get, if you notice on here too, it's not, usually you get 12 sheets of paper. You do get 12 sheets of paper, but 10 of them are actually DSP, and the other 2 are actually, I guess, die cuts or elements from the set. So there's all kinds of really cute like there's a card, there's a piece of note paper, there's paper that looks like it's been torn, there's sentiments, there's, like, you get 2 full sheets from a from the DSP. You get 2 of everything, and so, and then there's some wrenches, and there's some tags. So I'm not going to go through them all, but that you get the idea that there's quite a bit of sentiments or dies, die cuts, I'm thinking they're called, with the bundle. I am doing a class. It's called He's the Man. It's closed now because I have to order all the stuff in, and we're basically, everything's going to be all your sentiments are going to be using these dies from that bundle. So super quick cards. The only thing that's really time consuming on these guys is just the coloring of the either the panda, the koala bear, or the raccoon. So there's card number 2. So I kind of like the softer look than the stark. That's just me though. I just fell in love with that. So there's card number 2. So number 3 is, where is he? He's right here. Quick and easy card. Okay, on this one here, what I did is I did emboss it using the bark embossing folder, but I wanted to try the 3D fern. It's my favorite. I just love it. So I'm gonna just try it, see what it looks like. So we'll have 2 different ones. So this is obviously card base. This is 5 1/4 by 4, and I'm going to glue that right onto the card base. I have issues of having a blank card base in behind. I have to have something. Has to be layered. Just can't just be one piece. Just can't be, so I just can't put this piece onto a card. I just can't do that. I have to have a few layers, I guess you'd call that. Okay, so with this one here, I'm just going to bring him in, and I'm going to use my stamp apparatus on this guy too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place my cardstock. This is cardstock, and this is Sierra Sand. Or is it Sierra Sand? Yeah, I think, no, it's not. It's, what you call it? I'm going to bring it down here. Sorry, it's gray granite. And then I'm going to place him right into the center, just like that. Bring my piece over. So now I'm not going to stamp him in black. I'm going to stamp him in Early Espresso. And then we'll just ink him up. And then with him, all I'm going to do is I'm going to color him using my watercolor pencils. And so he's not dark enough for me. So another reason why I use my stamp apparatus, because the stamp's in place. Just going to ink him up again, and we'll get him to the darkness that we need. And just and I think I'm going to do him one more time. He's not quite dark enough for me. There we go. He's perfect now. Okay, so move him out of the way. Put my lid back onto my ink pad because I know I will end up stamping myself. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to bring in some of my pencils, and I think I'm going to make this a little bit brighter. So I think this is Granny Apple Green. And I'm going to bring in a wee bit of Fleur de Flamingo, and just going to color the grass. So I'm just going to take my pencil, I'm just going to just color the grass so you can see it coming through. And make sure I have most of it covered, not all, but most of it. And then I'm going to bring in my Flirty Flamingo and I'm going to color just got a bit around his tail. Just the Flirty Flamingo. Yeah, and then I'm just going to just a wee bit in his ears like that. Now I'm going to bring in my blender pen and I'm just going to just take it and I'm just going to just blend that so it's not so stand out. So it doesn't stand out. It sort of, I guess it blends in because that's what the name of the pen is. Okay, there we go. And now what we're going to do, this is a really quick one. Where did I put my base? That's underneath. Okay, so now we're going to adhere him right onto the card base, just like that. And I'm going to use dimensionals for this one. They walked off on me again. Darn them. I'll just grab my mini ones and just add them on. Oh, these are not mini. These are my large ones. I must have put it away. Holy smokers. That's a first. And a couple in the center. Just like that. And then we'll add him on. Get my sentiment too. And I'm going to use the sentiment from the Waves of Expression, the Happy Birthday, because it's small and it'll fit perfectly. I think I got that. And then I'm just going to just put this straight on that. So this is the actual size of the card, so it's 4.5 by, I think, by 3. And I'm going to grab my sentiment, scrap piece from my sentiment, and like I said, I'm just going to be using the Happy Birthday. And I'm going to be stamping that in Early Espresso. And that's not very straight. There we go. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to just grab my scissors and I'm going to just trim a bit off the ends, just like that. It's probably about 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch. Oops, that's not straight. Oh, better use this guy. I'll be here all night, I'll be next to nothing. So it's straight. And then this side. Now I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to snip up the center and then just flag the ends. Just like that. And then do the same thing on this end. And I'm going to get that. And then these are obviously going to be dimensioned. Just going to use the sides. These guys here. Super cute stamp set. I just love it. The panda bear and the koala. And we'll just put this right about there. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in, this is a brand new package? No. This is the Rustic Metallic Adhesive dots. So I'm going to add a few of these on. I'm going to clean up this mess a bit here. I just can't seem to work in it. And bring in my pick a tool, and I'm going to add a few of these guys. I'm going to grab a couple more big ones here. So you have the odd number. And then move this guy a little bit over. There we go. Okay, so there we have it. 3 cards using the Wild and Sweet, a bundle, or stamp set, sorry, bundle. Oh, I keep saying that, don't I? So let's just go over this. I'm just going to just grab the cards. So we have the raccoon. We have the cutie patootie koala bear. And then we have the handsome panda bear. How cute are they, eh? Quick and easy cards. If you guys have any questions or anything like that, if you place an order, I will send you the kits for these. The order needs to be over $40, and you need to use this hostess code right here. And then I will send you out the kits for these. You'll have to have the stamp set. Unfortunately, I can't help you with that. And the sentiment probably won't be the same thing. I'll have to just send you a piece of cardstock, and you put your own sentiment on there, because I don't have any left because they're all gone, because I just used them both from the set. So there you go. We have the cute raccoon, the adorable panda, and the koala bear, and then the super cute panda. Okay, so I'm going to let you go now because there's a hockey game on and I want to catch it. So I want to thank you so much for joining me. Greatly appreciate it. Everything I used is over on my blog, creatingwithsharon.com, and as will this video too. Okay, well, thanks for joining me tonight. Greatly appreciate it. You all have a wonderful evening. See ya. Bye.